Hello and welcome to another episode of Your Body is Your Gem, presented by BUPeriod. I am your host, Vanessa Severos, and today we have a special guest, Fharah Jean-Philippe, and we will be discussing her journey with uterine fibroids. As you know, July is Fibroid Awareness Month, and BUPeriod is committed to sharing the stories of women who had or have or feel like one day they may have to deal with uterine fibroids. We want to let you all know that you're not alone if this is something that you are going through. And if you can, share your story. Go to BUPeriod.com, that's BUPeriod.com, and share your story with us. So we're going to start off by speaking with Fharah. Fharah and I go back, way back, like what? We go way back like 4 car seats.
Wow.
No?
No. Not even
we're
one.
We're down like 4 flats.
That's
no?
better. That's
okay,
better.
okay.
That's better.
No, we go way back, like
God.
babies and pacifiers.
Oh no.
No.
Wait, old dirt dog, no liar.
Oh, we go way back like old dirt dog, no liar.
That's
And he's currently in the dirt. So that's how. Ooh, God forgive me. I'm just joking. I'm just saying that's how far back we go.
Oh my God.
Okay, so thank you for taking the time to come and talk and share.
Thank you.
And as you know,
Am I loud enough? Because I don't know. Sometimes,
Yeah, we can hear you, right?
Perfect. I gotta make sure because you never know.
No, we can hear you. So let's just start off. I mean, I know your story, but only you know like your personal story. What year was it that you found out you were diagnosed?
Well, here's the thing. Well, I've been having fibroids since I was like 15.
Oh, so you were a teenager?
Yeah. And I've been bleeding heavy. My period would last 7 days. It was really bad. I would have cramps where I would be debilitated. I'd be laying in bed and I could be able to get up until the second day or something.
As a teenager?
As a teenager. We went to the doctor several times. It wasn't, my mother and my father was trying to figure it out, and one doctor said I had cysts in my ovaries, and we went to test it, and then they were like, no. And then this one doctor, he was like, no, you have fibroids. He says, but they're small, so there's no need to worry about it. As you get older, if they grow, just test every year. That's basically what he said. So I tested every year, and it was fine for a long time. But it wasn't until when I got older, and I mean when I get older, I mean like 30s, I think it was, and I felt like I had a beer gut, because my stomach was big, and I was like, I gotta lose weight. So I tried everything.
And you were losing weight.
I lost weight, and all I had was a belly. People thought I was pregnant. That's how big it was. So I mean, because I was like 250 pounds, and then I went down to like 180, 190. And my stomach was still protruding, and I never knew what it was. I mean, even when I was like when I was 20 something, I had an episode where it was really bad. My blood I wouldn't stop bleeding, and so we managed to go to the doctor. I went to the emergency room. They filled me back, they gave me transfusion, all that stuff, and the doctor's like, well, you do have a fibroid. It's the size of a cherry, and you have another one that's just the size of just the size of a little pea. I wouldn't worry about it, unless it starts to give you, because it's not on you, because they say that fibroids were in your uterus. Mine was hanging outside of it. So he says it's not going to affect your giving birth. If it does, we'll take care of it then. That's what he told me. And I said, okay, fine. And then so fast forward to like in my 30s, I was like 30.
But wait, just to clarify one thing, with a lot of us, we are thinking that they're inside the uterus, but there are 3 types that grow within the uterine cavity, within the wall of the uterine cavity, and just like what Fharah just explained, externally. And those can be on a stem, look like almost like a stalk type thing. So they may not interfere with the activity that's going on in the uterus, but they can interfere with other aspects like your other organs.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No problem. So it wasn't until it really got bad, and I went to one doctor, and he was like, well, I think that you have, your fibroids are pretty big. I think you need to go see a doctor, a specialist, because here's the thing, it was growing to the point where it may affect me having children. And he was like, we could do a straight, hysterectomy if you want to. And I was like, that's not what I'm trying to do right now. I'm like, I want to be able to make a choice. So I said, you know what, thanks a lot. And I kind of let
You're still in your childbearing.
Right. I'm not trying to not have a child. I mean, I didn't want children at that time, but I always want a choice. And so I was like, let me find one. And so I found this fantastic doctor. In fact, I found two, one in Brooklyn and one in Manhattan. And I decided to go with Dr. Johnson because she's, you know, I read all the reviews about her, because when you're making a choice as to what to do with your body, you have to take the time to do the research. I don't believe in just going by word of mouth, because not every doctor is good for you where they're good for someone else. Because my old doctor was great, but he just was not my cup of tea at that point in time when he said I should have a hysterectomy. And he said it so easily, like, he was just like, well, just have a hysterectomy. And I was like, what? Wait a minute.
Right, that's like take two Tylenols and call me in the morning.
I was like, stop. And I was like, are you kidding me? And then they said, and they gave me and the nurse gave me the pamphlet of what would happen when you have hysterectomy, hot flashes. So you basically are going through the change in your 30s. I was not for that. So I called Dr. Johnson, and she was like, all right. So she saw me and she was like, okay, let me touch your stomach. And she touched it and she was like, this doesn't feel normal. Let's talk about it. Let's do. So she gave me a sonogram. I had other types of exams where it was like
transvaginal.
Yeah, transvaginal, as well as she did a 360 around to see what, you know, if anything.
So is the 360 more like a CAT scan or MRI?
It's more like an MRI where they see what's inside of your body and see, because when I told her it was outside, she said, okay, well, we got to see exactly where it is to see what the issue could be, because her goal is for you to have your children, and you know. And how many, she said, I want to see how many you have, because it's been known that for women of color, especially in their 30s, they can have multiple. And if it's within my uterus, or if it's outside of my uterus, or if they're, you know, she wants to make sure where they were and how to best get them. Because she says sometimes when they do the myomectomy, it could be like Swiss cheese, and then you might as well just get rid of your uterus at that point.
So yeah, just to cut in just really quickly about myomectomy, that's one type of surgery that is offered, that more traditional style of surgery that is offered, especially when you share with your doctors that you are looking to still have children. So there are multiple other ways. So like Farah said, make sure that you do your research if you're thinking about it, or if you know someone, because they can get rid of your fibroids with some of these surgeries, but like Farah said, they also may stop the chances of you being able to get pregnant. So myomectomy is when they go in, they remove your uterus, they scoop out the fibroids. For those of you who don't know or just tuning in, fibroids are non-cancerous. At first, they could be, but 90% of them are non-cancerous. They're growths of tissue, muscle tissue, and they act as if they're a normal part of your body, but they're not. They feed off of estrogens. We've talked about this before. They feed off of an imbalance of your hormonal levels. So it's really important that you understand which surgery you're going to get, because if blood supplies are cut off to your entire uterus, then that's it. There's no more blood supply, and that's what your baby will be, you know, living off of. So that's just a little interjection. So now let's, you know, finish up when you found out about the myomectomy.
But here's the thing. She wanted to do it like right away, and I said, give me a second. I just need to figure it out for myself. So I went and learned everything about fibroids and what I needed to know, and I knew that my diet was a big part of it. So I went completely organic, and I remember I lost like a ton of weight, and I still have my beer belly.
But wait, not only that, her skin was glowing. Like, I don't know if y'all remember Showing Off. Wait, what was the name of that movie? The Last Dragon, and he got the glow. Farah had the glow, literally. I remember you were eating up with kale and greens.
Yeah, so I was eating everything that was like, I went to farmer's market, I ate whatever was in season. I had no packaged food, nothing with, nothing, you know, I put salt myself, but it was sea salt, or it was, you know, but it was, you know, because the reason why I went organic was I went to this, I went on a cruise, and they said, okay, you and your body. And so I said, let me take this class. And I took it, and it was really, really, you know, it blew my mind, because the guy said this. He says, whatever your body, you know, because this is how we live. We live in earth. We live off what's here. But what your body processes it fast with no problem. But the things that your body's not familiar with, it can grow into cancer cells. It can grow into something. It's got to go somewhere. And so he says your best bet is to live organically, to live without any of the pesticides and whatever sides there is that goes on your food, because, you know, especially how corn is like in everything, and it's not supposed to be in everything that you eat. You know, it was really blind blowing.
And you come from a background where the food, I don't know how organic it was. She's from a Haitian background, but the food, my friends, I mean,
you gotta live off the earth.
Delicious.
You gotta eat everything. You eat everything. So I think for me, you know, I live in an American culture where I eat whatever's fast, whatever's quick and cheap. And I realized that I couldn't live like that anymore if I wanted to be healthy. So I talked to the doctor. She wanted to give me medication so she could shrink it. And I said I wanted to do it organically. So we waited 6 months.
Shrink the fibroids?
Shrink the fibroids. So there's a pill that they give you, and it kind of like shrinks them up or dries them up, and then she could do it safely, because once they're smaller, there's less likely to affect your uterus. And I just went organically. And to make a long story short, after a while I did the surgery.
How many years was it of management before you decided?
It was about 6 months, and 6 months to a year, because she was like, you need to stop playing these games. Because she was monitoring.
You had them from 15,
right?
And then it was in your 30s, and you were like, all right.
Yeah, in my mid to late 30s, because I was like, I'm not trying to destroy my body because I'm scared of surgery. You know what I mean?
Was this your first surgery?
It was my first major one.
First major.
Right. So they made me sign. You know, so the day of the surgery, they made me sign a paper saying, you know, in case it's you in your life, we're gonna give you a hysterectomy. Call it a day. And I was like, wait a minute, I'm not signing this paper.
Yeah,
and she came up to me, and because her nurse got nervous, and the anesthesiologist got nervous. I was like, I'm not doing it. No. And she came out, and she took her little mask off, and she said, okay, now I gotta clean up again after you. She was like, listen, this is what I'm telling you. She said, sometimes we don't know where the fibroids are. It could be on a blood vessel. It could be on something that will cause internal bleeding. I would rather get rid of your whole uterus than get rid of you. So this is what you're signing, because I cannot in good conscience let you die on the table just so you want to have a baby. But she says, but I guarantee you, this is because of what we talked about, and we know where they are. It's not going to happen, but just in case. And I was like, so I signed it. Then I had surgery. I had one big fibroid. I had little fibroids. One the shape of a peach. Another one, two were little cherries, and then I had a big one that was the size of a basketball. And that was the one that precipitated everything, because it was growing in me for God knows how long.
Usually they do the cesarean cut,
right? And I have a scar. I had the whole long scar.
She had the old.
They thought they were going to do the bikini cut for me, but it was too big to go through there. It was like the size of a baby, a 9-pound baby, and so they cut straight from here all the way down to cut me and then pick it out. And then I had to heal myself, you know, because I stayed in my organic track. I go to the doctor and we check to see. We do tests every 6 months to a year. It was when I first started, it was every 6 months to make sure everything was okay, whatever. But now I have to do when I do my pap smear. She's like, don't forget your exam. I'm like,
have they come back?
I have one little one, and I have one little one and two this size. But like she said, I don't have to worry about it. But I know what I'm doing. I have to eat right. I've not eaten right in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, because I've been going to grad school, like I said, fast and easy, eating crap. And so now I'm going back into my organic diet. You know, so I'm going back to eating, because sugar precipitates it too. You know, things that are not good, it goes somewhere, and it has to go somewhere.
That's the management that I was alluding to. So you managed your relationship with your doctors. Mm-hmm. You managed it. You did the research that you had to do.
Right.
You did what was comfortable for your body, mm-hmm. and within 6 months to a year, you were able to make a clear decision.
Right.
Then, as you shared, Farah she got your master's degree,
right.
And currently you are at Chase. And what position are you there?
I'm a VP of human resources, corporate learning, and development. So I guess that's why I always do research before I make a decision.
But my point that I'm getting to is that she is a successful career woman, and not only she just forgot to tell you, she's also the founder and CEO and president of Modern Day Griot Theater Company, which she's been running for several years, pretty much, writing solo. She has 2 or 3 partners, but this is her baby. So Farah literally had to juggle for the last decade of her life, major life, just life, period. That the average person, they may have 1 or 2 things that they're into, but Farah's into a lot of things that are her baby and the investment that she puts in herself. So talk to us a little bit about you know, understanding that the diet that you have to go through, but managing a theater company, being vice president at Chase, that comes with a lot of pressure.
Oh my God, yeah.
You also take care of your parents.
Yes, I do.
They are aging parents, and you also have to take care of you.
Right.
So we understand the diet part. Talk to us about what life balance when it comes to stress and how important that is for taking care of your body.
Well, for me, I realize that as I get older, my body deals with stress differently. I used to lose hair. I used to, not sleep. I used to be insomniac. I used to stay up all night, every night, and not go to sleep. I know that sleep is important for me because that's how my body resets. So I make it a point to like have, I paint my walls a green color so it could be sea green so I could feel like asleep. My pillows are important to me. Pillow top bed. TV's off. I don't bring any work into my bedroom. I learn how to manage my life in a way that I have a work-life balance that works for me. Montenegro Theater Company, when I came in and I started, it was a lot of theater all the time because I was trying to establish a name. But now I cut down on a lot of it. In fact, I took a hiatus for about 16 months so that I can go get my master's, so I can go back and do whatever I do. I always believe in working smarter, not harder. And so I have to take care of myself. I kind of let that go because I admit that because I was like so busy I didn't have time for myself between my mother and school, work, and I left my old job to go into this new position that was more visibility, more high powered, more clients, more everything. So I had to really, what I did was when I graduated from school and I was like, okay, and that was in December, I had to reset. I mean, completely. I took 2 weeks where I did nothing. Just read trashy books, watched trashy reality TV shows. I did nothing for the theater.
Stevie,
I did nothing.
She talking about you, Stevie J.
What I'm talking about. I love that show. But like I said, I just had to make sure that I took 2 weeks off from myself. And I did nothing for no one, not even for my parents. I did it for me. Because my mother has Alzheimer's, just to say. So I am battling two things, really. I want to make sure that my mind is right, and I want to make sure that my body's right. So I have to take care of both things at the same time. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. It's letting you know, letting people out there know that you have to make a decision, or everything else. And if you let everything else in, the prioritization that has to happen along with it.
I learned from this woman, and I think she was a part of the Alzheimer's group, because they said, because when my mother was diagnosed, they were like, you're a caregiver, you have to go get counseling or go to a support group or do something with yourself, or you're gonna go crazy. And so my father wouldn't go with me, but I go to a support group. I haven't gone in about 6 months. I went, I go, and she said the one thing, she said, you are enough. There's nothing more than you could do for anyone else, but you have everything to do for yourself. So you have to take care of yourself first before you take care of anything and anyone else. And so that's what I have to do. I have to mentally reset and figure who I am. But I'm also blessed that I'm doing what I love. I think that's the thing people don't realize. Everyone's like, oh, you're so ambitious. No, I'm doing what I love. So it's nothing for me to spend time doing it. It's nothing for me to do load in, load out for a show. It's nothing for me to do to work overnight or on a Sunday and talk to someone in Asia or travel. Because I love doing that because I love my jobs. And I love people. And both jobs are from people. So I think that's why my brain is still okay and I'm still active and I'm still doing whatever. I do want to date, and I realize that I now have to make time for that. So, like everyone else, like everything I've done in my life, I'm doing research. So let's see how that goes. Maybe it'll work out for me. I don't know.
So now, Pharah and the future. What does that look like?
Oh my God. Eventually, I do want a relationship, and so with that comes I have to cut some stuff back. All the stuff that I'm doing to keep busy, I gotta, because I gotta make room in my life for that. And you make room for what you like and what you love. I also want to start doing my own thing. I realized when I was going through this program at Columbia that I'm a lot smarter than I thought I was. That was for sure. But I also have a drive to do something for people. So I would like to do just theater and just bringing it to the people and making it more accessible, making it more fun. Also helping new and upcoming writers or theater companies branch out and do their own thing and not have to worry about government funding. So that's what I'm working on right now, trying to figure out a roadmap for that. But like I said, I'm gonna be good to myself and give myself time to get there, because I used to do everything like this. It has to be done now. So I'll just take my time.
Freaking awesome. Go girl.
I'm so proud of you.
Magic. You proud of me?
I'm proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
You're doing your thing.
I'm proud of you too. Oh,
girl.
yeah, man.
You know
I
how
mean,
it
hey,
goes.
we're in this together.
Yeah,
that's
of
it.
course.
We support each other.
You have to.
And that's what it's about. And for those of you watching, tuning in, we wear white. We wear white.
Oh.
We don't have it on today, but
you should have told me something.
The White Dress Project is an organization, an initiative looking to actually make July the official Uterine Fibroid Awareness Month, passed in Congress so that we can actually start to get funding for startup companies like BUPeriod, for research to be done, to actually get behind the whole fibroid situation, which in America up to 80% of women will get by the time they're 50, up to 30% of women by the time they're 32. These are childbearing years, and when it comes to the women of color, we're looking at 1 out of 4 of the total percentage that we were just talking about. So it's not an epidemic, but if it was Ebola, it would be an epidemic. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why BUPeriod is here to support and celebrate and empower women who may think they have, or have friends who have, or family members who have uterine fibroids, or any other of the issues that battle or plague our reproductive systems, our yoni power, our center of the universe, because it's important. So make sure you follow We Wear White and the White Dress Project Initiative. Also make sure you follow Empower You Period, a sister down in Texas, Dallas, Texas, showing the youngins, the babies, about their periods and the power that they have. Not to put a stigma or taboo, but to understand that it's actual power. All right, so this is BUPeriod, Your Body is Your Gem. Thank you for tuning in with your host, Vanessa Severals, my guest, Fharah Jean-Philippe, and at BUPeriod. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram. And every Sunday, Your Body is Your Gem. All right, peace.